I'm Brady.
I'm Joel.
And I'm Seth.
And this is
YouTube Sports Now.
Okay, so the first topic today is going to be Game 3 and 4 of the NBA Finals.
Game 3 honestly was a surprise to me. I didn't think the Bucks were going to be able to pull through, but Giannis had a great performance. Actually, him and his brother combined for the most amount of points by brother scored in a game. 41. It's crazy to think that happened. I never thought I'd be alive to see it happen.
How many points did Giannis have?
He has 41. It's really amazing to see that happened, but besides that, Devin Booker and Chris Paul both played amazing. DeAndre Ayton played amazing. In Game 4 though, honestly, Devin Booker, that was just a luck that the Bucks won. I mean, Giannis had that game-winning block, which, in my opinion, is better than the LeBron against Iguodala block. I think Giannis's had more skill because, if he missed that dunk, his arm goes the wrong way. Because DeAndre Ayton's a strong-ass guy. He could have easily just broken Giannis's arm if he had it the wrong way. So, all I gotta say about those two games are that, it's just lucky that the Bucks were able to pull through those two so far.
What do you think will happen in the next 2 to 3 games?
I think that Giannis, and he might be able to rally up his teammates maybe just to get, one more win. I think the Suns will win Game 6, and then I think it'll go to Game 7, and I don't know. I'll have to see, the next two performances of these two teams. It's going to be a close one, though.
Okay. Joel, what do you
Yeah, I
think?
got Suns in 6. But Game 3, Chris Middleton and Jrue Holiday did show out their part. Yes, they are off and on, but they came back from their Game 2 and played well in Game 3 to help Giannis to win that game. But let's not forget D-Book dropping 42 in Game 4. I mean, that's an insane amount of points to put up and still lose the game. But, it is what it is. He's doing his best. Suns are winning in 6. That's all I got.
I think that the Bucks have a lot better chance, and of course, before that they came up from 2-0. I mean, I thought it's crazy that they tied. I thought that the Suns were at least going to get one in Milwaukee. But I think that the Suns will win the next game in Phoenix, and the Bucks will tie it up in Milwaukee. Then I honestly don't know what will happen in Game 7. I think it'll be really close, though. I think the Bucks definitely have a great chance of coming back after what we saw from them, but I still want to go with the Suns.
In my opinion, I think the Bucks got so much momentum behind them right now that they're just pushing through. They're going to get through every obstacle that the Suns throw at them. I mean, if you look at it, it's just going to be close games the rest of this series.
Yeah,
I thought it might have been a sweep, honestly, after they won those 2 games straight. But now that the Bucks are finally pulling together and Giannis' teammates are actually pulling their own weight, it's actually.
All right, the next thing we're going to be talking about is the 2K22 covers.
I'm honestly a fan of all of them, really. I like seeing Kevin Durant and Dirk and Kareem on, the Legends Edition. I think that's sick. Also, Luka being on his first cover, that's just...
Also, Kevin Durant's the first current player to be on a Legends Edition.
Yeah, seriously, and it says a lot about his, just skill level he has, really. And I'm proud that he's getting recognition for it, because isn't this, the first time he's been on a cover
2K15.
besides... 2K15,
Yep.
I was about to say that, besides that. And even then, wasn't he co-covers or something?
No,
There was,
that was the
3 people
Curry,
on there.
Harden, Davis.
Yeah.
I thought he was part of that, but no, it just says a lot that he was able to go from a cover of 2K15 to go all the way in the Legends Edition in 2K21, 2K22. I mean, that just says a lot about his play style and his skill level. I'm really proud that he was able just to be on that, because you don't see many players that were from this decade to be on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
What do you think about the Candace Parker cover?
I think that's pretty cool. I mean, first woman to be on the cover, and honestly, she's pretty good.
Yeah,
if
she's
it could
the
be
LeBron
anyone,
James of
seriously,
the WNBA.
if it could be anyone, I think it would probably have to be her, because she's honestly a really good player, and it's just cool to see that happening.
Yeah, I honestly think that's really cool as well. I mean, I think the cover itself is better than the Luka cover.
Oh
the
yeah,
design and
the
stuff.
covers though this year, they just seem
The covers are pretty
awesome.
good. Yeah, I like it. Joel?
I gotta say, out of all the covers, these are the best so far.
Joel, what do you think?
I mean, I gotta say, I'm really happy about Kevin Durant being on that Legend Edition. I mean, I really think he deserves to be on there. I mean, just getting on a cover with Dirk and Kareem.
Two really
Those are two of the greatest players
Yeah.
of all time. That's just an honor in itself. But that just shows how much Kevin Durant has made an impact on this sport and just how good he is. I mean, I'm just so happy that he's on that cover. I really do like Kevin Durant. He's a great player, and I'm just so happy he's on there. I'm really happy that Luka got that as well, because, I mean, he's he's one of the best players in the NBA right now. Like, that's not even a question.
Yeah,
I mean, I mean, he goes out of the playoffs here. He goes to his Slovenia team, whatever it is.
And
he's doing amazing. I mean, they're making the Olympics, everything like that. I mean, he's an insane player. He definitely deserves that cover.
Alright guys, the final topic that we will be discussing today is the NHL. And I have my friend Ryan here, and he is an NHL expert. He loves hockey very much. And let's get into it. Ryan, what are your thoughts on the regular season and the playoffs?
Just to start it off, I think is a big no-brainer is that this season was absolutely just, it was crazy. There was no normal thing going on in this season, especially, I mean, all the teams. There's a lot of teams that you'd think would be going far that really didn't produce as well as you think they were. We have, first off, I think is a big no-brainer to think out is we have Colorado Avalanche. They were probably one of the top prospect teams in general just to go far, and really couldn't produce against Vegas right now. And I don't know, it's just kind of hard to look at it and go, wow, they didn't go far. And Tampa coming out on top, really, they just, I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe. These teams it's so unexpected.
Yeah.
And Tampa going back to back was kind of one of those things that you wouldn't expect. And I don't know. It's just, especially how far Montreal came. They just, going out of those playoffs.
Bad for a while.
After being a really bad team and going into those playoffs, there's nothing to be sad about. You got to keep your head high. To think that they weren't even supposed to beat the Leafs. I mean, they were down 3-1 in the first round going into that, and they got some momentum and kept going and won it in Game 7, and then they went on and on from there, and then went to the finals. I mean, they won one game. They had a really nice OT win there, and they just couldn't pull it off, but they ended up losing in Game 5. But really keep your heads high. They had a good job.
Yeah. Another thing. So there's going to be an expansion team this coming season for Seattle. What are your thoughts on that?
Really, I feel like it's going to be another Vegas. I think back in 2018 when Vegas had their expansion draft and they were just able to, they were able to basically pick whoever they want on every team. I mean, every team's able to pick, I think it's like 8 or 10 guys from every team who they actually wanted to keep. So then the rest of the guys, if they don't have a existing contract or out in the market, I know there's a lot of teams who are not looking forward to this expansion draft and really they're just not looking forward to it because they know that some of their players that they really want to keep aren't going to stay for a while. But we'll just have to see when it comes closer and closer to expansion time, which I think is the end of July, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll just have to see what really happens.
And what do you think will happen going into next season? Like, any surprising teams that didn't make the playoffs that you think could actually have a good push to try and get in this year?
Honestly, I think there's a lot of teams. I think I know this is a little bit shocker because I know there's a lot of people who don't really like this team. I think Florida Panthers, they played really, really hard, and I know they made the playoffs, and I know you said any teams that didn't make the playoffs, but that's the one team that really sticks out to me, who I think they have potential, and if they get the right people in the right places and they're able to work well, I think they could honestly, go far. And I mean, if they're not cup contenders, that's fine. It'll take a few years, especially to rebuild or just really get moving and get started on some momentum. But I think they're going to work well this season and the next few seasons and just try to get far, really.
And are there any top free agents that you think could be going, like, different places this year at all, like, off the top of your head? Or?
I know a lot of people. Me, personally, I'm a Penguins fan. I know a lot of people thinking Jeff Carter, because the Penguins did not save Jeff Carter for the Seattle expansion draft, so right now he is a free agent for anyone to take for him or anyone to set up at least trades for him. But you have to think about it. Jeff Carter, not only was he the number one guy for the Penguins throughout the whole playoffs, a lot of guys in the Penguins didn't really show up. They didn't do well, and Jeff Carter was one of those guys who really stuck to it. And why I think they didn't keep him and stuff, I feel like it's just old age. I mean, he's getting to that point where he's in his last 1 or 2 seasons to a point where he wants to finish out good, even if it's not a cup win. He wants to finish out good in the playoffs, or especially like this year, they couldn't make it past the first round against New York. So I think they're just gonna have to see what happens there with him. I think he's the main guy going into it. So if anyone's gonna take him, they're gonna have to know that they're gonna have a cup run this year and not take time, because he's definitely in his last few years.
Okay. Thank you, Ryan, for joining us.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Love to see you back soon.
See ya.
Alright, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.